Okay guys, we're going back to an old video here. This one's from a few years ago, in which they get a bunch of homophobic people and they get them to hug a gay person for the first time in their lives. And we're going to go through, we're going to watch this masterpiece of a video that people are raving about.
You like women?
Yes.
I'm gonna say right here, it's a little suspicious that this little girl looks so happy and content, considering her mom is so homophobic. And this situation should be a lot more awkward if it's genuine. But I'll get a little more into that later.
How's it going?
Good.
I'm Jeff. Nice to meet you.
Wow, so homophobic. He just shook the guy's hand and said, "Nice to meet you."
Hi, I'm Caitlin.
Yes, she just crossed herself. I'm not making this up. She totally did that. Definitely legit. Definitely not acted. Definitely not over the top. No sirree, Bob.
You look nervous.
I'm always nervous.
Why?
I'm a pretty nervous guy.
I'd be pretty nervous too, dressed like that around a bunch of gay people. I mean, you're just asking for it, buddy.
This is Katie.
Hi, nice to meet you.
She goes from being super scared to even acknowledge this person to letting her daughter shake this woman's hand. Is this not at all suspicious?
Why did you ever think it was a sin?
Oh, because it says so in the Bible.
It also says we should stone people to death, but we're not barbarians. And also, if it wasn't clear enough already, this film is completely staged, so nothing holds any water in this video.
So which one of you is gay? Right here.
We were taught that it's wrong.
How are you kissing another guy? I don't get that.
The same way you kiss another girl?
Or the same way you could kiss anything. I mean, you could even kiss your pet dog if you really wanted to.
I think women should have sex with dogs.
So are you, gay? Yeah. You're so pretty to be gay.
Oh no, the homophobes are right the whole time. It is contagious.
I feel like, you know, gay men have more sex than straight men.
I don't know, I've been with my boyfriend for 10 years and I've never had sex with anybody else.
Honestly, I've never heard this stereotype. I've heard it for bisexual people, but even then, it's a really rare stereotype. And men in general have a stereotype of having lots of sex or being obsessed with sex. So I don't really see what the complaint is with this one. It's just dumb.
Well, I play the banjo.
That's cute.
Yeah, that was my favorite Nintendo 64 game.
I don't have a natural response to that.
You're kind of cute too. That doesn't hurt.
This poor old woman can't find a sensitive man because they already have boyfriends.
Doesn't hurt.
No.
I like your lipstick. Thank you.
I could do without the gay parade.
Don't go. If you didn't know, would you think I was gay?
Yeah.
You knew?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Now, this is actually true. You could actually tell by his lisp. Apparently, most gay people do have a lisp, and that most other people can identify if someone is gay based on their lisp. So apparently, there's actually been scientific studies on this.
Of course. I mean, look at you. You're gorgeous.
We can start a handshake. Hello? So do you wanna just go for it?
Never.
Should we start with hugging?
Oh, fine.
Yeah, jeez.
Let's see that. Give a good. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh.
Oh!
It's okay, right?
Oh!
Better be careful there, kid. I think Granny's got a bit of a crush on you. She might just jump your bones if you're not careful. You know how these crazy heteros can get sometimes.
You seem like a cool guy. I think your whole sex thing's kind of gross.
I think your whole sex thing is kind of gross.
BuzzFeed, did you write this freaking script?
How does it feel to be the same sex as Donald Trump?
How does it feel to be the same sex as Whitney, Wisconsin?
I think women should have sex with dogs.
Well, anyways, YouTuber Rob Dyke gave the homophobic mother an opportunity to speak on his show earlier. And here's what she had to say.
So Rob and I have been talking about my recent appearance in a video in which I was asked to hug a lesbian, and apparently don't. I cannot and will not attest to the authenticity of the other segments of that video, but I will say that there were no scripts, correct, and that I was playing a character based on what I have seen, sadly, but a character nonetheless.
Now, Rob mentions most of the people who do appear in this skit have their own IMDb pages, and they are indeed paid actors. So I think it's pretty safe to say this entire skit is a complete fabrication. And they weren't given scripts, so it was clear that the actors came up with their own characters, and they were, from what I hear, they were told that they were going to be characters, but they aren't portrayed as such in the final thing. It's not portrayed as some video. It's portrayed as a real documentation, like a real thing. And it's not being authentic whatsoever. It's basically throwing this poor woman under the bus for her cause that she supports. And she's supposed to think that's okay. They expect her to take the fall for their message. And she goes on to explain why she's not going to do that.
So, shockingly, I have not much enjoyed being judged and criticized for being someone I'm actually not. It's hard enough justifying who I actually am. But I've been also told that I should keep mum and that I should just let this all pass. Some people have even told me that what's happening to me is appreciated because it is for a good cause. So here's the thing. I don't think that the debate about the authenticity of the piece helped in a meaningful way. You have a lot of people who actually are willing to completely dismiss the message behind the video on the basis that it doesn't look real.
Yes, myself included.
It shouldn't have to be real. Luckily, there have been people who've watched the video who clearly state that it doesn't matter whether or not the video was a real experiment or not, because you should look at the underlying message. Thank you, people, for existing.
But it should be portrayed that way, like in a movie where it's obvious that they are actors. I mean, it is obvious here, but they're trying to tell you that it isn't. Like, this is like wrestling. It's all a big hoax that they're really trying to get you to buy, even though it's very unbelievable.
For me, right now, it comes down to this. My daughter is now being approached at school when I'm not there. Luckily, she was not ever meant to look like a complete douchebag in the original video.
I think it was actually pretty obvious from the video that she didn't grow up with that kind of parent that would raise a kid like that. I think it was pretty obvious from her actions, from the daughter's actions in the video, that the mother was playing a character much different than she actually is in reality.
So she isn't being flamed, but people want to talk to her about her horrible mom. And when she says, my mom was pretending to be a mean person, they say, well, that's not what the video says. Because if you look at the cast list, it's not April Lee as homophobic mom, or a randomly genuflecting woman, or even the fake name I had made up for myself.
That's pretty fucking low. They got her to make up a fake name so they could just not use it anyways and just use her real name as if she's really this kind of person when clearly she isn't.
So, valid question. Why did I bring my daughter on board to begin with? Well, first of all, she's been with me on camera before, and she wanted to be doing what Mommy was doing and being with Mommy. Number two, I wanted to instill in my daughter a healthy sense of social activism. She was seeing her mom proud to be part of a movement for which she has long been advocating, in fact, over 2 decades. And it occurred to me that if I do agree to shut up, what I am teaching her is that it is perfectly okay for her to be sacrificed by supporters of the same cause for that cause. Hell no. You can teach your own children that.
Oh snap. Homophobic LGBT mom dropping them truth bombs.
My child, not going to be a victim. So a few people have warned me that speaking out may have ramifications on any fledgling acting career I might be seeking. No offense, but doing right by my daughter trumps all of that.
So anyways, I will provide links to the full videos in the description. You should check them out. Definitely check out Rob Dyke's video. It's got the full clip here. It's got Rob Dyke's commentary on the subject. He's done a bit of research into it and stuff like that. But yeah, be careful what you do for groups who you think they're on your side, because one day they might just throw you under the bus. They might make you their martyr for their cause. And whether you agree with that or not, you really shouldn't. Like, you shouldn't just be a stepping mat. You shouldn't be a victim. You should do what's right. And I don't think it's ever right to lie, essentially, to put these false messages and stuff like that. And they shouldn't be expecting people to sacrifice themselves, especially if they do have families and stuff like that. Like, she's got her daughter's being harassed at school. That should be enough. Like, that should be enough to put a stop to this. Like, okay. But no, they expect her to still go along with this, and there's many people who've watched this video who think it's legit somehow. It's not. It's complete bogus. The people behind it, they're really scummy for doing it this way. And yeah, I definitely don't support them, and I think it should be brought to more people's attention. That's why I did this video. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching the video, and maybe I'll have more funny content in the future. Maybe it's all gonna be awful stuff like this. Who knows?
Fuck her right in the pussy!